Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin and today I wanted to make another video with 10 more ideas of things to do instead of spending money. And if I look like death, it's because I have this really bad cold, so that'll be why. And we found out today that we have a hole in our roof after the storm, so that's fun. But in more positive news, I'm reading The Life Impossible and really enjoying it so far. Like, it's a really light read after finishing the Elliott Smith biography because I find it very heavy and kind of depressing, and I actually feel like I can't really read too much about people whose lives have ended in a very tragic way because I get like, it's like I absorb their feelings or something. So I think I'm going to stick with some lighter and more positive reading for a little while. But yeah, I'll get back to the list because obviously that's why I'm here. So number one is one that came from me walking this morning, and whenever I was out I saw a robin with this really red breast, and it stood out so well against the greyness of everything. And it made me think, like, you could go out for a walk specifically to take photos of birds and take as many as you can. And there was the Great British Birdwatch on Friday, and we sort of tried to do it, but there weren't any birds in our garden because I think because of the storm, like, they were kind of hiding. But my daughter's teacher posted photos after of birds she had seen on her walk, and I just think it's nice to slow down and take the time to notice and learn how to identify different species, because that's something that I feel like I can't fully do. Like, I do know some types of birds, but other types I have no idea, and it just makes you kind of take your time over your walk and get some photography in as well. Number two is to learn about something that you didn't pay attention to in school but that you are interested in now. And I find there are a lot of topics like this now where whenever I was in school, I was in my own little world a lot of the time, and there were things that I just found boring or not relevant to my life, and I didn't really fully listen or retain the information. But now I feel like it's almost like if you could go back to school as an adult, you would have a greater appreciation for it. And I would like to learn more about history and things like Greek mythology, because I have a huge gap there. Like, I never really learnt about it anywhere. So I just think it could be interesting to kind of revisit topics as an adult and see, do they actually interest you now? Because we kind of change so much as we get older, and because it's not part of the curriculum and it's not being kind of forced down your throat and you can learn at your own leisure, it's just something totally different. Number three is to make your own sushi, and this is something that I like to do sometimes, and I'll go through phases of making loads of it and kind of getting, like, I just get obsessed sometimes with it. And I have a little sushi mat thing, and it's actually really easy to make. I think I thought years ago that it would be really complicated and hard to master, but it's actually pretty straightforward, and you can keep it as simple as you like and put whatever ingredients you want in it. And that's the benefit of it too. Like, if you buy a shop bought sushi, usually it's like a variety of things and you might not like every filling, but if you make it yourself at home, you can choose the fillings for yourself. And if you don't love fish, for example, you can make like all vegetable ones or just use whatever you like inside it. And my kids are always really happy when I make sushi. Plus, when you make it yourself, you can make such a large quantity of it because it's quite expensive to buy. Number four is to learn about teas, because there are so many different kinds, and if you are a tea drinker or you're just interested in tea, it could be a topic that you kind of get really absorbed with for a day. Because I used to go to this little tea house in Glasgow. It was my favourite place there, and it's like one of those places where you sit on like the floor, and they have lots of like little cushions and kind of like it's a very kind of like bohemian vibe to the place, and you got like a menu with teas in it, and they included these long descriptions of what the teas were, what the different kind of tasting notes in them were, and where they came from. And through that I discovered how much I loved like chai tea, and I liked Lapsang Souchong as well, which is the kind of smoky one, and there are just so many different types you might never have tried. I really love Lady Grey tea, which is kind of like Earl Grey but more orangey, and I love drinking it in the summer. And if you just kind of investigate and find out about all the different kinds, it can just make things a bit more interesting and give you something to look forward to when you're having your little tea ceremony each day. Number 5 is to have a foot care day, and I really need to do this actually because I totally neglect my feet, and they're probably like pig's trotters at the minute, but like I have a foot spa which I probably need to get out, but sometimes I wonder if I should just get rid of it and just like soak them in the bath, because I feel like it's a whole thing getting it out. But I think it's important to look after your feet. Like, they're taking you everywhere you need to go in life, and you can kind of forget about them, and I think that moisturizing them is really important. And like, you can make it into a whole ritual. You can like soak your feet, use nice products on them, like if you want to paint your toes and stuff like that too, and then like wear like really cozy bed socks to keep the moisture in kind of. And if you are having a day in the house, it's the perfect time to do that. And yeah, I just think it is something that we can quite often forget to do, unless you're somebody who like regularly goes for pedicures and things like that. I just forget about my feet and they get really dry and horrible, so I think it's important to look after them. Number 6 is to make some mixed media art, and this is something I used to do in art at school but haven't done as much since, and I would like to get back into doing this because it's sort of like releasing yourself from all the rules around how to do art in the proper way, like, and whatever that is. But like, I really love mixing things like paint and pastels and like, or collage, and you can just incorporate so many different things. We used to do a lot of like coloring pencil combined with like paint, or just even pencil drawings that were like partly colored but not fully, and it just makes a nice contrast, and it gives you a lot of creative freedom, and you can use whatever supplies you happen to have lying around your house already. And yeah, that's something that I would really want to get back into doing this year. And I think it could just be a really fun hobby that it's a little bit like scrapbooking. You don't have to think about it too hard. You just kind of go with what you feel. So number 7 is one that probably could be a sensitive topic at the minute for people in Northern Ireland, because so many are stuck without power after the storm. But you could have a no power day where you kind of like pretend that there's no power in your house, and you just turn off all the lights, turn off all the electrical stuff, don't watch TV, don't use your phone, and just kind of step back in time for the day and have like a peaceful day and see where it leads you and what you end up doing instead. It's just a good way to kind of rediscover like older hobbies that are simpler, and just to kind of detox as well from phone usage and things like that. And I just love doing things by candlelight. It's just kind of romantic. Number 8 is to write down some mini goals, and then you can tick them off as you go, and it could be anything that you want. Like, for example, at the minute I really want to finish my orange painting that I started the other day. It's just a small postcard size painting, but I don't feel like it's finished yet, and I want to do that. But I think I'm going to make a list before I start of things I need to get done, and then tick them off as I go, because it just makes it feel like you've been so much more productive. And yeah, I just think that setting really tiny ones that are achievable, it makes it feel less overwhelming and less like you're striving to achieve these massive goals that aren't within your reach. Number 9 is to highlight lines in a book that you own that inspire you, and to try to remember them, or if they really inspire you, even like write them out and put them on the wall. And I think that sometimes like we will read and get in the way of skim reading everything and not really taking it in, but I think if you sort of slow down and take the time to actually highlight parts that appeal to you or that mean something to you, it makes the book sink in more and you remember it better. And it's kind of nice to have lines that you can return to that you feel are relevant to your life at the time. And finally, number 10 is something that I do with the girls quite often, and it's to have party food or make party food that is just for no reason. Like, you don't need a reason to have a party. I just think every day can be a party and you can choose to make it one. And sometimes if you're feeling low or tired or whatever, it can really lift your spirits to just do this, because it feels like you're throwing a little birthday party for yourself, even if it isn't in the calendar. And I don't think that you need to have a reason for a party. Like, maybe you just want party food and you want to just like make the day feel a little bit special, and I think that that can be a nice way to do it. I know my kids always appreciate whenever I do that, because it just feels like something exciting is happening, and it kind of breaks up the monotony if you're in a phase where there aren't many celebrations taking place. So I hope that these ideas give you some inspiration for things to do instead of spending money, and feel free to share any ideas or thoughts you have below. And thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.